especially when the way that we saw Saints play last week. And Saints know, and we've been very fortunate to go down and mix with some of the players pre-game. All the Saints players have been talking about is how to stop Catalan. Last week when Catalan played against Hull KR, they got off to a 28-0 lead at half-time. The game was more or less over, Eddie. You've got to make sure that you control the forwards, because that, I believe, is where Saints really need to work hard. Can they control the juggernaut Dave Taylor? Because Todd Carney's back, and you don't want to let Todd Carney play in a dinner suit.
Well, look at the 1-7 of the Catalan Dragons. It is, on paper anyway, their first choice back division. Gigot, Broughton, Inu, Duport, Richards, Carney back in the side, as you say, and Richie Myler pulling the strings. And Myler really looks like he has begun to enjoy life in the south of France since he left Warrington last year. There he is, a try and a 40-20 kick. He ran the show against Hull Kingston Rovers, and he'll be looking to run the show against the Saints here tonight.
Eddie, he's playing behind a very good set of forwards, isn't he? He's got that platform, the big man himself, Dave Taylor. He's got the skills of an outside back. And you've also got Stewart in there, who does so much work. His energy in defence really solidifies this Catalan side.
Early spring, and it's a chilly night, but the pitch in absolutely perfect order, as it always is, nice and firm. Should be a quick game, this, as Richards gets us underway with the kick-off. This ball will bounce right in front of Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, and it allowed the running chasers, Vincent Duport and Louis Anderson, to come in and effect the tackle. Maybe Louis, if he had this time again, would take that on the full. Catalan getting stuck in very early on.
Well, it's hard to be at your very best 2 weeks in a row, but that's the chance for these two teams. They were outstanding in their victories last week, but again, backing it up a week later, there isn't the atmosphere here for St Helens. They're going to have to create their own energy and enthusiasm here tonight. But they have got every chance of doing it with a good, strong run from Andres Savelio.
Yes, Savelio takes the fourth tackle, plays the ball to James Roby. Here is Ashworth, and they've reached the last tackle. Roby gets the ball into centre field. Theo Farge, the French international, playing against this team from Perpignan. And the ball bounces harmlessly up the other end of the field, and Tony Gigot is able to bring it back, and he'll take the first tackle as the Dragons have first use of the ball.
Eddie, they were trapped for 4 tackles then. Catalan getting off the line, really dominating from the kick-off. Dave Taylor on Alex Walmsley, that's the battle I've been looking forward to. But you've got to make sure that you win the first couple of plays, because if you don't win the first couple of plays, it's very difficult for the kicker to get that ball away and place it where he wants it.
Alex Walmsley just caught a glimpse of him there, 26 years of age last Sunday, as Louis Anderson takes the ball forward for the Dragons once again. 10 metres inside the Saints' half of the field. Myler gives it then to Carney. Carney just drops the pass off to Julien Busquet, and he carries the battle forward a little bit further into the St Helens half before he takes the tackle. Here now is Myler again. The ball will go aerial and in towards the corner. They're looking for Pat Richards, but that's a great take by Jack Owens, and no such pressure really, and Taylor getting to him pretty quickly.
Well, if you were critical of the Dragons, both the kick-off to start the match and that one as well offered opportunities for them to get a bit closer and contest it. They didn't quite make the effort to get out there quick enough, and they've been 2 good catches by St Helens, but under relatively little pressure.
The Saints trying to work the ball away from their own end of the field with Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook now. He was fed by Luke Walsh. Solid tackling though from Anderson. Walsh again at dummy half. The St Helens supporters already on the back of the referee Robert Hicks, claiming that the Dragons are all offside at these play the balls. Walsh with a kick downfield, a bit aimless up the middle but bouncing, and in the end harmlessly into the arms of Gigot.
Something Jody Broughton talked about specifically before the kick-off. He said tackles 1, 2 and 3, we need to generate that momentum. He's got the ball here, he's going to work hard to play the ball quickly, generate that momentum so the forwards can come back off it. And again, that battle of the first 3 play the balls, I think Saints adopting a similar philosophy.
I think Kristen Inu has caught a stray finger in the eye here. Grabbed the eye and has gone down after playing the ball. This is Jason Battieri. Yes, he's squinting, there's no doubt about that. It was a nasty poke in the eye, I think, and here it comes David Taylor again. He got a finger of James Roby in his left eye. Richie Myler, nice little inventive kick over the top. Walsh got in his way. It was a fly And a missed kick. Saints survive and bring the ball out with Shannon McDonald.
Yeah, well, Shannon McDonald coming up with the ball. Let's see what Saints do in this set of 6. The previous 2 times that they've had the ball, they've looked to shift it, play to the edges, as Luke Walsh goes for a short kick-off on the second play to 40-20, is it?
It is. I think it is, or is it short? I think the referee's just called short. And he has said it's short. And having given the decision, he now asks the video referee, Richard Silverwood-Stewart, to have a look.
How can you check?
Well, they are allowed to check on where the ball goes into touch now. The referee's in the best position for this. He's following the line of the ball as it's going down. I think his decision will be the one that's proved correct on this.
He's kicked on the second though, gents. Let's make that point. Luke Walsh jumped in at dummy half, decided he was going to take the risk, take the gamble. I think the Catalan fullback Tony Gigot, he's pointing, he's trying to give the best case.
But the camera angle makes it virtually impossible here to determine where this ball goes out.
It is, and that's why the referee's made the decision. There's nothing there that can prove that the referee's wrong on that decision, so they'll just go with the decision Robert Hicks made.
Eddie, and that's the play from Shannon McDonald that allows Luke Walsh to kick on the second play, because he found his front, played it quick, under no pressure, Luke Walsh. But great intelligence, wasn't it?
And here's the first penalty of the match. It goes to the Catalan Dragons. They interfered with Vincent Duport as he tried to get back up to his feet and play the ball.
A lot of power in the 3 quarters. Inu and Duport, big men, strong and direct. And it was an intense run that forced Savelio to go back in. Illegal penalty, 25-30 metres, easy.
Well, it's a big night for this young man who's going to have his hands on the ball in a moment. And that is the number 28, Ulrich da Costa, the under-19s academy captain. There's no Pelissier, there's no Paul Ayton.
Eddie, his service has been good in the first 4.5 minutes, inviting players onto the ball, providing a nice accurate pass, and hopefully to seeing his team roll down the centre of the field.
Richie Myler, 20 metres away, plays the ball to him. Here is Carney, he drops it off now to Pacelli. That looked a bit high from Walmsley, but the referee said play on. Pacelli will get to his feet, plays it to Costa again, and a fumble from Gigot, but the ball went backwards. There's another fumble from Da Costa, so that is the knock-on this time.
Really, but aren't Catalan quite content to just play it nice and tight up the middle of the park, just bringing the forwards, dropping the ball off, not like that pass, obviously, but they are content. Just go at the line. Louis Anderson been absolutely brilliant over the years in Super League, hasn't he? When he gets his arms free, he's going to offload that ball. You've got to make sure you wrap that ball up on Louis Anderson.
So the scrum will form here, 10 metres away from the St Helens line. And from the back of the scrum, it finds its way to Jack Owens. Inu was very quickly on him. This is Savelio now for the Saints. Solid defence from the Catalan Dragons. You made the point earlier on, Terry and Barry, that they're a big physical side. They've lost the ball here, St Helens. This is the free play, and Krishnan Inu fancies something here, trying to run over the top of Shannon McDonald. Da Costa in at dummy half again, gets the ball into centre field to Carney. He looks for the runner, it's Bousquet. Da Costa again, Todd Carney. Flat pass, good ball to Taylor, and good tackling by Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook in defence. Da Costa once again. Back it comes to Carney, now to Gigot. Trying to go round Theophage, between Theophage and Jordan Turner. Then Stewart. Good defence from St Helens so far. 2 tackles remaining this set of 6. Da Costa. Da Costa goes down the right-hand side. And a low skimming pass, and Broughton is in for the first try. Todd Carney's pass all along the deck, picked up nicely by Jody Broughton. And isn't he in fine form at the moment? Jody Broughton, the former England Knights international. He had to wait for his debut, but this is his 9th appearance in a row now, and his 8th try of the season, and it's given Catalan another early lead.
Well, this shows you how important holding on and retaining the ball will be tonight. Immediately Catalan get this ball, they go right into attack mode, and it's a scruffy pass. We've seen Todd Carney do that on numerous occasions and hit the mark, and Jody Broughton, he's able to deal with the bouncing ball. He has enough composure to get the ball over the white stripe, and the Dragons are in for the first try.
Well, the best strikers in football finish the chances. The best wingers in rugby league do the same. And Jordy Broughton's beat 4 men here to make sure he grounds the ball and scores 4 points. That was a very, very good finish from a really intelligent winger.
Yes, fine try from Broughton, added to the 2 that he got against Hull Kingston Rovers last week. He's played Super League for Hull, Salford and Huddersfield, and of course we know about this man's capabilities with the boot. When he was with the Wigan Warriors, he was the man of steel, was Pat Richards. 5 from 6 goals against Hull KR last week. 5th on the all-time Super League point scoring chart now. Can he add the extras? No, he can't. First kick goes astray then, but the Catalan Dragons lead by 4 points to 0 after 8 minutes.
Eddie Esfeld says this try took some scoring. The ball goes on the floor and Jordy Broughton picks it up. You can see when Jake Spedding gets up, he just plants his feet for the split second, which allows Jordy Broughton to come back infield and get between those 4 defenders. So great finish and a good start from Catalan. They're trying to challenge Saints up the middle of the park, and Saints, when they have the ball, they're looking to go short side, they're looking to try and take them on and looking to try and get Inu and Duport. Here's a big carry.
Yes, another big carry by Bousquet to the 20-metre line. And Carney again looking to give it width. He finds Myler. Taylor, such a big, awkward character to try and put to the ground, and look at him, such strength.
Eddie, it just saps your energy, that. Trying to take a big fella to the ground just takes so much out of you.
A good drive also now from Anderson. That's 2 good carries, 1 from Taylor, 1 from Anderson, who plays the ball to De Costa. That was Todd Carney. He drops the pass off to Bousquet again. One of the big men take St Helens into their own half of the field and having to make that tackle. Bacheri is halted by 3, and down he goes. It's the last tackle coming up here, so Myler or Carney to kick. It's Myler, right-footed, high, and the chase led by Anderson and finished off by Duport and De Costa.
A wonderful take, cool and calm. Shannon McDonnell, and there's a penalty given away. It looks like Vincent Duport, the man that was penalised. It was interesting, the previous set of 6. When you construct the early part of your 6, you keep it tight and then you gradually spread it wide. Catalan on that occasion, they chose to spread it early and then bring it tight for the 4th and 5th tackle. We'll see how that develops, whether it pays any dividends for them later on in the game.
Well, they've won back-to-back matches away from home. Actually 3 from 5 on the road, St Helens, yet they've lost the last 2 here by a point against Hull, and of course the one that hurts the most, to Wigan on Good Friday by 12 points to 24. Here is Walsh, gives it to McCarthy Scarsbrook. That's a good run from him. He was looking over his left shoulder for support, not there.
And he's looking for that space, he's looking for the big forward, Dave Taylor, just clocking off.
That's another solid run from young Ashworth. Theo Farge just dabs the kick towards the line, picked up by Gigot.
That was a full-blooded shot. Just as he kicked that ball, Theo Farge took the full force of the kick chaser. It was Jason Bitteri putting pressure on him. Look at that.
Yes, he felt that, did Theo. As the Dragons try and work the ball away from their own line once again. Vincent Duport got inside of Alex Walmsley. McCarthy Scarsbrook, who worked his socks off in the win against Warrington last week, doing likewise again tonight. That's an attempt for a 40-20. Didn't quite come off, and so Spedding can pick it up, but deep inside his own half of the field. The chase led by Richie Myler and Glenn Stewart there.
They're just simple sets, aren't they, from Catalan? Getting to the kick, kicking it long. Shannon McDonnell started the game really strong, hasn't he?
Nice little run from him. Good stepping. Here comes Jordan Turner.
And this is when St Helens have been at their best, traditionally over the last 10-15 years. Fast play the balls, rolling downfield, and players just supporting the man with the ball. You know, at times this season, they've really struggled to score tries from any distance. They've just worked their way patiently upfield. But from what we saw last week, and maybe what we saw in that last set, there's an earlier indication, you know, that they're going to try and attack from within their own half, or certainly further away from the opponent's try line.
The kick from captain John Wilkin was just a touch too strong. Wilkin has proved that he's A-OK to play tonight after being taken off with slight concussion last week. Leeds against Hull FC is another big match tomorrow, Sky Sports 2 at 7:30. Leeds, if we work it out, they have to win 8 of the remaining 13 games, maybe to make it to the top 8. And on Saturday, the road to Wembley begins for Batley and Featherstone. Sky Sports 3 at 4:55. Once again, Glenn Stewart brings it forward. And the penalty here, just too much messing around on the floor.
Well, Glenn Stewart knew exactly what he was doing. He gets through, gets his nose through, and all of a sudden there's a couple of Saints players that are lying at the back of him. They can't get set, and young Jack Ashworth, who was very good last week when he played against Warrington, the lad set for a big future in the game. Just too long there, but gifting that field position to Catalan here.
There's another one just behind him. I watched him play in the 19s just before this match. Young Matty Lees, the ex-Rochdale Mayfield player. I was talking to Mike Rush about him. He said, we're just holding him back, but when he gets there, he's going to blow everybody away so much, he'll actually stay in there.
Well, yes, they have some good young players coming through the ranks. Mike Rush did confirm that to us. They're very, very happy with what's coming in the next wave, and so too are the Dragons, because here's a second try for Jody Broughton. 2 tries last week, 2 tries this week, very early in the piece. Inside the opening quarter of an hour, Catalan Dragons into an 8-0 lead, and courtesy of Jody Broughton with his second try of the night again. 8-0, Catalan Dragons. And the crowd here just a little quiet, because they know that this Catalan Dragons side is full of optimism and full of hope. 2016.
Eddie, and that's the reason why you can't give penalties away. So you give that field position, just have a little look at the movement, the ball at the line. They're just sucking the Saints defenders in. They're all biting in, they're sinking in, they're making an option, trying to cut that play down, because they know that they're running out of time and they're running out of options to get those defenders across.
There are 5 great passes there, and I'm certain this is going to make the top 5 tries from the weekend. It's brilliantly done. In fact, we here in the commentary box put our microphones down and applauded there, which rarely happens. That was a sensationally worked try from a team who started this game so impressively for the 2nd week in a row.
9th try of the season, 99th career try for Jody Broughton, and by the sound of things it will make the Phil Clark 5, which will be available on the website from Monday. The 5 best tries scored from this slightly shortened round, because there are 4 teams who will also be involved from the Super League in the opening shots of the Challenge Cup this weekend. The bottom 4 from last year will all be playing in that. The top 8 from last year, these 2 were 2 of those, of course, are playing Super League. They don't enter the competition for Wembley until May. Has Richards readjusted his sights? You bet he has. And the Catalan Dragons lead by 10 points to 0. A very pleasing start for Laurent Freyssinou.
Well, Eddie, I talked about the craft in this side, and Phil's right. Every pass is right on the button. Glenn Stewart, he's involved in that as well. You don't need to give Jody Broughton that much time and space. Very quick player, Jody Broughton, but had relatively little to do to get that ball over the white stripe again.
Well, some adjustment needed by St Helens, and they've made it, and Kyle Amor coming in with his first involvement, but it is illegal, so that will be on Terry and Barry's biggest hits.
Well, he asked him before the game, Eddie, asked him, have you got anyone in your Cumbrian sights? Who are you going to go for? He said, I'm just going to go out there. I need to dominate. I need to get on top of the opponents. And John Wilkin just getting involved, just making a play for that ball.
You also asked him when is he having a wash and cutting his hair, but I think that was a bit of the green-eyed monster, that one.
Well, no wonder he's annoyed, and no wonder he's come out and put that first tackle in then. I know it was a ball steal that was penalised in the end.
He was brilliant last week against Warrington.
He played very well.
Very good.
Dave Taylor now for the Dragons, right on the halfway line. He's got such strength, hasn't he? Look, he's carried those 3 a further 8-9 metres.
Going backwards as well.
Here goes to Costa, gets the ball away to Carney. Ashworth all round him, so too far and Turner. De Costa. Infielder comes again to Myler. Now it is with Baccieri, Jason Baccieri. I was going to call him Taz then, that's his dad's name. Here is Myler, short ball from him to Anderson. Good tackling though. Very good tackle that by Matty Dawson. De Costa again. Myler slides a kick through, not the best, straight into the arms of John Wilkie.
The kick wasn't the best, Eddie, but the handling's been very impressive from the Dragons to start this game. They've had the ball 10 times and made just one mistake. And they've thrown it around a little bit. Here's a second one here, a penalty that I suppose goes against it. But the control of the ball has been very good, both last week and this week to start this match. It's given them a great 10-point advantage.
There's a little pull on the leg of Kyle Moore.
Well, that's what happens. That's your reward for running hard. Kyle Moore getting over the top of Julian Bousquet, and normally when you go out and you play, you look who you're playing against, and if you can go out there and outplay your opponent, it gives your team a chance. And Kyle Moore certainly did that last week, and he's got the opportunity again to do it tonight.
The present, only 6 starts, a prop for Kyle Moore. Here he is on the ball again. 4th in a row off the bench though here tonight. Roby waits to play the ball. It's now with Walsh. Drops the pass off to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He saw the gap again. Roby to Amor. And Amor is wrestled to the ground. That's good work by Bousquet. Finished off by Batieri. Roby down the left-hand side. Theo Fage wide to go to Jordan Turner. This man Inu gets the tackle in on him. Last one coming up here. Spedding was a dummy half. Theo Fage. Looping pass into the arms of Walsh. Walsh is looking for someone to climb high, and that man climbing high is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, but straight into the arms of David Taylor.
It just needed a bit more depth on that kick. You see that Jack Owens on the right-hand side was screaming for it. He was hugging the touchline. He wanted it out into the corner, but the ball goes up here. It's tapped back into the arms of Dave Taylor, who's well, he doesn't really want to run 90 metres, Eddie.
Well, he could. Might take him a bit of a while to get up the other end, but he could. Duport will play the ball. Gigot away from one would-be challenge from Morgan Knowles. Can't get away from Roby. Carney. And Myler's gone for a 40-20 attempt here. And it's just skipped the wrong side of the line again. That's how many have we seen in the opening, 18 minutes? That's about the third or fourth, isn't it? Only two shoots.
I think it's only two attempts. Well, past 3, but one was quite away from the touchline. 2 gone over the sideline.
Teams have been kicking early. I think that's our reflection of the defence, the intensity in the defence. Richie Myler, hasn't he come on this year? I think you made a good point during the week, Tez. Playing behind that pack, kicking on the front foot, making decisions with that extra second has really brought out the best in him. We bumped into his mum and dad as we walked up to the gantry position. They're certainly enjoying their trips over to Perpignan as well, visiting their son over on Canet Plage and enjoying the weather.
Well, it was Warrington last year. Richie Myler, of course, 12 tries in 25 appearances. Roby to Fage, looking for the runners. It's Savelio. He finds Turner. Turner then gets it wide to Spedding. He has got some pace on him. That's a great ball inside to Savelio, and even better to Shannon McDonnell. Oh, Richie Myler somehow got to him, wrapped his legs round him, pulled him down. Quick play, the ball wanted by Sace. Fage will switch the direction. Another good challenge by Myler. They get the ball away though, just the same. St Helens somehow retain possession. Roby then to Walsh. Walsh to McCarthy-Scarsbrook. They've now come back and they're formed in defence, the Dragons. They've reached the 5th tackle. Roby into centre field to Wilkin. Wilkin then to Walsh. Walsh, it's a wayward pass. Oh, and it's not picked up by Turner, and Catalan Dragons somehow survive.
Tremendous defensive work from the Catalan Dragons. The line was broken, and Jody Broughton gets back and tries to make that tackle 3 times. Beaten on the outside. There's the fumble from St Helens. Watch the work of Jody Broughton. He's already involved in that. Has to sum up, assess the situation, tries to get to that player, ends up being involved in the vicinity to effect the tackle. And he's one of the quickest players on the pitch at the minute, Jody Broughton, faster than a hiccup he is.
Wasn't that tremendous defence from Catalan? Not only in the last 5 games have they scored an average of 35 points, they want to defend like that. That's why they're winning games.
Yes, they're a different kettle of fish away from home this year than they have been in the past, and when it gets to the warmth of the summer, there'll be a threat in Perpignan again.
Yeah, they might not catch the eyes, but it's the tries that you save, not the tries that you score, that will get you to the grand final at the end of the season. Another attempted 40-20, Eddie.
Yes.
Is that the 16th in this game so far?
That's a big
Phil, I've told
kick.
you a million times not to exaggerate.
What a great kick it was, though. Did you see where it landed? Right in the corner. Saints trapped in their own quarter of the pitch again. McDonald struggling to his feet, trying to get over the top or from underneath of Christian Inu.
Eddie, that's where you want to turn the ball over. You need to get the ball into centre field then straight away, not take it blind like that Jordan Turner did on that occasion, because it cuts down your options. There's only one way that you can come. You want to spread the Catalan defenders as quick as you can early on in the set.
Savelio wrestled to the ground on tackle number 4. And hang on, looks like Savelio has a problem here. Obviously in some distress is Andre Savelio. I think I heard Robert Hicks just asking the video referee Stuart just to have a little brief look at this to check there's nothing untoward.
He did. Those words, just have a quick look at that and check it for me. And Richard Silverwood would do that when he gets the opportunity. I think it's probably the way that he goes into the tackle, isn't it? He's
ducks his head,
bit of compression.
He collides with Muniz. I don't think there's too much in it. Do you, Stuart?
I don't think there's any foul play. I think it's just the way he's gone into the tackle on that one.
Definitely hurt. We're not saying it's not a painful experience, but there's no
foul play. That's the name.
Foul play.
40th appearance for St Helens for Andre Savelio. I think I caught a sign there that maybe he might have to come off. He took a bang on the top of the head. I'm all right, he said. I'm all right. He wants to carry on, the young man.
The referee's going to do something different though.
Looks like he's going to put it on report, I think, by the sounds of it.
He's got good balance, Andre Savelio, when he goes into the tackle. And his balance and trying to step off his right foot, trying to find the gap. Obviously on that occasion he came on off second best, but hopefully he'll be back on.
And at 21 Test, to be one of the starting front rowers for St Helens shows how far he's come. Great shot from Acosta. Really rocked the head back. Kyle Amor.
This could be a momentum swingy though here, Eddie. It's a 5th tackle. I think Amor almost leads with the arm himself, but there is a big collision. All the hair moves all over the show, and the referee's blown his whistle, the penalty. St Helens are going to start to set a possession inside their opponent's half, and we're going to get to see just what they can create here with their attacking play.
Walsh will try and produce something. It's a solid run from Lama Tarzai. He plays the ball to Roby. Walsh will change the direction of the attack. Finds Farge, who in turn finds Dawson. And McDonald is in at dummy half. Gets it to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. There goes Tarzai again. But solid defence once again from the Catalan Dragons.
Well, they're just trying to set the field position. James Roby sending Lamatasi in. And again, Kyle Amor.
Wrestled to the ground on tackle number 4 by David Taylor. Roby gets the ball wide to Farge. Here is Jordan Turner. Good tackle by Christian Inu. What can Theo Farge do here? Well, nothing much. He gives it straight into the breadbasket of Taylor. Oh, and he loses it. He's lost it, and it's a 0. So Saints have got the ball back immediately. That's a lucky escape. Can they make something of it? Here goes Amor again.
It is, Eddie, because it was a poor kick from Theo Farge. Dave Taylor making the mistakes from Morgan Knowles' tackle.
Wilkin attacking the line, finds Walsh, who finds Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, who's wrestling and trying to put the ball over the other side of that whitewash. Pushed back by 4 defenders. Roby off the ground, fires the pass once again. Here is Walsh, changing the direction of the attack in an instant. And a good job that Catalan Dragons were wary of that. Here is Farge again, short ball to McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Another great tackle by Richie Myler. Roby waits right underneath those Dragon sticks, dabs the kick into the in-goal area, and Gigot to the rescue, but a penalty.
Well, there was a big shout out from one of the Saints players, but one of the Catalan players steps across. Is it
Dave Taylor?
Is it James Roby? Yeah, James Roby's taken out. As he kicks that ball, Dave Taylor just steps across his path, puts his shoulder into him, which is a penalty.
Did he move, Stuart?
Well, he's not. I don't think he's moved across him. He's turned sideways. I suppose you could call it a shoulder charge, really.
He's a big man, Stuart. He steps into him, though.
They've had 12 players here on their opponent's line. They've got 18 possibly. Eddie, I think they've got to score some points here. Otherwise, the fans will start to voice their discontent.
Well, the pressure is growing on this line. McDonald gets it wide to Turner. Turner then gets it out to Spedding. Look at the surrounding black jerseys.
It's great, Eddie. Great defence coming from the inside. Challenging the youngster.
It's Theo Farge again. Infield it comes to Wilkin. He then gets it to Morgan Knowles, one of the heroes of last week, him and Ashworth. Roby again, 10 metres out, will have a little scamper himself, James Roby, just held up short by the tackle from Gregory Muniz. Plays the ball, it's now with Farge, he'll drift it into the in-goal area. Turner's looking for it, everyone's looking for it, and everybody's missed it.
So close, Eddie. It was a beautiful kick from Theo Farge. Puts it into the in-goal. There you go, shapes to kick it. Wonderful stuff. Jody Broughton having all kinds of trouble with it.
No matter how many times Theo Farge gets knocked on his backside, he still goes to the line, he still pulls up the defenders. But what about the pass from dummy half from John Wilkin? It was accurate, it was straight on the money to Theo Farge, who then goes forward. He doesn't catch the ball behind him, which allows him to engage with that defensive line.
Well, we have a slight break in play here because the referee apparently has lost communication with his two touch judges, and so he would like our sound engineers to sort this out for him.
Well, it's a bit of breathing time, isn't it, for Catalan?
It is. It's fantastic for them.
The Saints players are now, come on, I want to get on with it, ref.
Well, here's the two tries from Jody Broughton that separates the two teams. There's the first.
Yeah, and hasn't he been good? The movement again, you give that field position, you make those mistakes, you give the penalties away, and that's what can happen. You're up against a very confident Catalan side on the road this year. They've turned the tables, haven't they?
They have, and Lauren Frayson, who knows that too, is delighted with the way his team is going at the moment.
We don't know what's going to happen in the next 60 seconds. They've had 16 players, they're going to get a few more here to try and score. But I'm not sure, Eddie, after 25 minutes, what's been the most impressive? Catalan's attack in the way they've created and scored those two tries, or the defence to save tries at the other end of the field. Both their attack and the defence have looked like that of a top four side, and if they can maintain and hold their opponents out here in this next play, it will be an impressive start to the match.
Hope you didn't miss that. We're going to have Todd Carney with John Wells at the touchscreen at the end of tonight's match, talking about the whys and the wherefores of what he hopes will be a Catalan Dragons victory, which will be their sixth in succession. Great run of form that they're on. Taze will bring it back again. Good run from him, solid run.
Strong carry.
Roby off the ground, looks for Amor, finds Amor, and Catalan find him. Roby waits.
Play off the back of power, straight and hard.
Taze again, so that's two from Taze, two from Amor. Roby goes left this time to Walsh. Walsh then finds Farge to Wilkin, good ball from him to McDonald. This is Turner, gets it wide to Spedding, another good ball from him. That's a great try, you know. That's a tremendous St Helens try there. And the German agrees as well, Eamon McManus on his feet. Lovely hands, lovely soft hands. A nice ball inside from Spedding to set up Theo Farge for his second try of the season.
Well, Theo Farge, he deserved that. Here's his kick to force the goal line dropout, and a 65-metre dropout off the back of that play. Ends up in this field position. Watch the work Theo Farge has to do. He's always moving, he's always running. Lovely hands from Jake Spedding. Tips it back inside to the standoff. Well constructed, good energy. Jordan Turner plays no small part as well. Wonderful stuff. I agree with you, Phil. They needed to score for their own peace of mind. They needed to get a result from all the possession and position they've had.
Well, we might have expected that. Theo Farge, he has scored tries in each of the last 3 seasons for the Salford Red Devils against the Catalan Dragons. 2013 at the Magic Weekend, 2014 in a home win for Salford, and 2015 in a 40-all draw. And Danny Brough is in the crowd tonight, and next Thursday we'll hopefully be seeing Danny in a Huddersfield Giants jersey. He will be facing the Wigan Warriors next Thursday night at 7:30. It will also be a significant night because the boy is back. Steve-O returns from his recuperation. I think I'll put it as politely as that.
Hip hoorays.
Hip hooray. We're going to have a knees up with Steve-O next Thursday.
He'll be about 6'3" as well, isn't he?
Well, he is in the summer, but he's a bit shorter than that in the winter. This is Luke Walsh with the conversion, and the St Helens side are back in this with a vengeance. 6 points to 10.
what was so impressive for me was the tempo of this play. They speeded it up and slowed it down so that it made the defenders stop in the tracks. It only needs to be for a split second, but if you can get the defender to slow down before you're prepared and then you accelerate, it gave them the time and the inches there just to get through and score that first try. Really clever work try between Walsh and Farge and the rest of the gang.
Theo Farge is coming alive at St Helens, isn't he, in the last few weeks. Been given an extended run in the team. Amor now from behind his own line. And Remy Casti just set himself for that tackle.
Well, just gets underneath the ball, hits him really hard.
Planted both feet on the ground and just waited.
Yeah, they did. That's what you've got to do in defence. When a big fella's running at you, you've got to get in close, get your feet as close to the defender as you can, and make sure you come up with that dominant hit. Your first contact's got to be good.
I think they can make something. St Helens down their left, the Catalan Dragons right. They went there again. Now they're coming away from that side. Tarsi once again. Straight though into Bacheri. And two others, then Stewart included. They put him on his back. Wells, good. Wilkin, well, a good ball that was to Theo Farge.
Eddie, you're right. They like that short side, don't they?
Now then, it's Luke Walsh. Walsh with a kick over the top. Oh, into open space. Well read by Pat Richards.
Oh, there's a ball and all tackle from Louis McCarthy. And look at the confidence flowing through Saints now. They've had a lot of pressure. They've scored a try. They're making their chances, and they're taking the chances on the short side. They're making lots of opportunities for each other by the way that they're pushing so hard with the ball carrier.
Bit of experience now, dummy half. Thomas Bosk is out there. Young Da Costa has played his part in the opening half hour. He's always expected Thomas to play hooker in this match at some stage. Casti takes it forward, little high, maybe off the shoulder from Amor. They've reached the last tackle here, the Dragons. If it goes high off the boot of Myler. Owens is underneath this. He allows it to bounce. Selects it behind his own line. Chase this time just a little slower from the Dragons.
Still a great kick though, wasn't it? If you turn the ball over from your own half 10 metres from the opponents, then I think they'd be happy with that as a net gain in territory. Two good tackles, and they're just about work their way back into this arm wrestle.
Farge gives the ball to Jordan Turner. Well, the defence is there in numbers now. St Helens having a difficult job in working the ball away from their own end of the field. Amor surrounded, down he goes, tackle number 4. Still 29 metres away from their own line. He'll play the ball here to Roby. Roby showed it to a couple. She got away from Stewart, couldn't get away from Todd Carney. McDonald was the dummy half, and Theo Farge with a lovely kick all the way down the line. Great chase as well. Gigot with work to do. Theo Farge following up. Good work from him.
That is a fabulous kick, but again, earning the right to play. James Roby getting out from dummy half, and now Saints getting excited in defence.
And so they should, because when that last play the ball was on, there's only 4 players behind the ball. The Catalan Dragons were plodding back into this line.
So the strength is the forwards going forward. It's easier when you're bringing the ball away. When someone keeps kicking the ball behind you and you've got to retreat, get the ball, bring it forward, that takes something out of you.
And the supporters starting to sing when the Saints go marching in. They can sense there might be something on the way. That's a great kick though from Carney. It's gone beyond Jack Owens, and it just didn't get the right bounce, so it runs dead. Could easily have gone for another 40-20.
Well, it's just the bounce of the ball, isn't it? Can go anywhere. Todd Carney, yeah, we'll get out of here. If I get a 40-20, all the better. If not, we'll just defend the next set of 6. We've been asking a lot of questions. We're really tight. We're talking to each other, working hard. You look when the first contact, Eddie, they hit them, they try and hold them up, they buy a couple of seconds just so the teammates can get back and set. Again, tackling in numbers.
Yeah, solid in defence, aren't they, the Dragons? So far. Pierced once, though. A lovely move, and that's off the shoulder. And it's a 0 tackle here, and Anderson has escaped the clutches of Jack Owens. So that's the 0 tackle. 6 to go then from here. And it's that man, Gregory Muniz.
Eddie, there's always a danger when you're playing close to the line. You might have a little look up, see what's in front of you. I think that's what Louis McCarthy did on that occasion.
Angled run from Stewart. Ooh, if he could have slipped that past to Gigot, he was in. Credit the tackler, actually, for that. And it was one of the youngsters. It was Morgan Knowles. Thomas Bosch. Back it comes to Myler. Oh, and Dawson just bounced off by Gigot. Gigot then straightens it up to go for the posts.
He stops the play, though, Dawson, from going out, because they did have the overlap on the left-hand side.
Bosch is waiting. That's the pass away to Carney. Over the top it goes. Broughton on for the hat-trick. Hat-trick time for Broughton. Hat-trick time and the 100th try of Jody Broughton's career. A first-half hat-trick from Jody Broughton. Laurent Freysenou's men have weathered the storm as St Helens began the fight back. But Broughton, didn't he show some strength there to get over the line and get into double figures for 2016?
Strength, confidence, Eddie. They close it down on the right-hand side, Saints, then the ball shifted to the other side. But it all comes around yet again from the mistake from Saints, playing at the line. They've had some joy with that, but this ball is a wonderful pass yet again from Carney. Yet he has to make a play for it again. But Jake Spedding, never take your eye off the man that's in front of you. Don't lose your bearings, know who's there. He comes in field, he leaves the space outside. And Jody Broughton, well, he started this game really well.
It's another terrific try. I've had possible we'll end up with 5 contenders for the top 5 tries this week in this match. Do you know the pass there? Todd Carney might not have that many involvements in a game, but the ones he has are absolutely critical. Fantastic pass and a brilliant catch. That ball was moving at a fair pace. Took a lot of skill, which have soft hands, just to hold the ball up above his head, take it into possession, and then get over the line and ground it.
Quite a way to bring up your 100 career tries with your 4th hat-trick of your career. And each one from Broughton obviously has been scored out wide, so it's given Pat Richards a tough task to try and convert them. He's got one and he's missed with the other. Can he make this the perfect 6? And the crowd will tell you that no, he can't. St Helens 6, the Catalan Dragons 14.
Well, Eddie, I said it in the first 5 minutes. If you surrender possession, you've got to be prepared to work hard. And St Helens, they failed in that assignment. And just a gentle reminder, or a severe reminder, really, if you give possession away, you could be made to pay. Jody Broughton, all 3 tries. It's a crucial involvement from that man, Todd Carney.
Yes, and before this match, we thought that if they are to harbour serious ambitions about getting to a first ever Old Trafford Grand Final, the Catalan Dragons would have to win away against one of the big boys. This won't help. A mistake from Louis Anderson.
Well, this is the other part.
He's given a knock on.
Yeah, well, Eddie, this is the other part of it. When you bring the ball away, you know that you've been dominant, you've not been dominated in the tackle. You try and plant the ball down as quick as you can. Was there a bit of a shove there from Lamatasi? Was the interference? Well, Louis Anderson clearly knocks that ball forward, and obviously he's been pulled out now by the referee Robert Hicks, because he's still arguing about the decision.
Sounds like he has had a chunner at the referee.
Well, what we'll see the result of Catalan. They've surrendered possession. First tackle. Will they do what Saints have done in the previous set?
Wilkin gets a short ball away to McCarthy Scarsbrook. And as a result of that decision by Robert Hicks, it is a big test again of this Dragons defence. Alex Walmsley taking the ball forward with a good carry. Disentangles himself from the tacklers. Roby. Walsh changes the direction to play. Wilkin. Roby again. Roby looking to dance his way through the line. Can't get through them. They've survived for 3, the Dragons. Saints have got 3 more in the bag. It's with Farge. Fires it wide. Morgan Knowles. Down he goes under the tackle from Glenn Stewart. Jordan Turner waits 10 metres away. Back it comes to Theo Farge again. He drops the pass off to Wilkin. Wilkin saw the try line beckoning, went for it. We'll play it here to Roby. Roby then gets the ball away to Knowles. Here is Turner going for the corner. Good defence. Tremendous defence again from the Dragons.
And that could be the difference tonight. When Catalan have to defend their own line, everybody knows what they're doing. There's more black shirts in the frame than there are red and white. Look at the players here. Christian Inu has had an almighty tussle with Jordan Turner so far. Quick hands. And again, great effort and great attitude in defence.
For a large part of the Catalans' 10-year period in the Super League, It appeared to me, Eddie, as though they aimed to win games 32 points to 28. They knew they could score a lot, and therefore they didn't mind conceding at the other end. They backed themselves to get over the try line when it was their turn to have the ball again. That appears to have changed, particularly in the last couple of weeks. They've done a tremendous job in changing the mindset, and they're now showing the ability to defend equal to that of attack.
You talk about mindset, but just have a little look at them. Everything's simple bringing the ball away, Phil. They're not overcomplicating plays, are they? They get into the kick. When the ball goes away from when they're defending, they're working very hard. This is where they're having the big joys, Eddie.
Another 40-20 attempt.
Oh, did very well.
Did well, he did do well. Looked like he was just going to sneak underneath him.
And it was a kick on the fourth again, so I'm not sure he would have been expecting that. But Shannon McDonald tips it back in and was allowed to regather. And the defensive attitude you talk about, Phil, I think it's personified in the Minister of Defence, Glenn Stewart. Does all that work. Before tonight, he started with 395 to his tally so far, and he's worked tirelessly already tonight. Good work.
Solid run from Alex Walmsley, this. Marauding run down the middle, not much support.
What do you think's going through Tony Gigo's mind then, Ed?
Well, I didn't think he fancied that. Here is Wilkin. Wilkin gets it wide to Dawson. Richards got to him. They've reached the fifth tackle, St Helens. Here's Farge. Now it's Walsh, kicker in chief. There it is. Oh, it's a lovely chip through by Walsh. Brilliant try from Luke Walsh. Absolutely brilliant. Quick thinking, inventive. Call it what you will. And Luke Walsh grounds his 50th St Helens appearance with a super eye-catching try. They're only 4 points adrift. The kick to come, it might be down to 2 as they go in for half-time.
Well, it's tremendous read by that man. But what about the run from Alex Walmsley? Tucks the ball under his wing. There's a couple of players around him, but he keeps on pumping those legs. Takes on Gigo. Stewart comes over the top. But Luke Walsh, fabulous player that he is. Look at him, straight at the line. Knows that the defenders are pulled up. There's no fullback there. Richie Mile has come from the play of the ball. There's nobody sweeping round the back, and Luke Walsh knows the space that's in front of him.
Well, some of the St Helens supporters have said that Luke Walsh has not been doing it this year. Well, he's certainly done it there on that occasion. Before half-time, he's come up with a critical play that's going to give them 6 points, and I think completely changed the complexion of the half-time dressing room. They'll be in a far more positive mood having scored in that man, and certainly with this man here, he'll be buzzing.
Well, his goal kicking was the difference between the two sides last week at Warrington. And that was lovely inventive play from the St Helens scrum half. He's been dogged by injury throughout the course of his 2.5 years or thereabouts now at St Helens. Over 700 points in his career though, both sides of the world, and there's 2 more. And yes, the half-time talk for Kieran Cunningham will have a slightly different complexion about it now.
Well,
Saints 12, Catalan 14.
Luke Walsh sets this up. He has a quick glance before he catches the ball. He knows where the space is. He chips it over the top into that space. Has enough skill to regather and put the ball down. All set up by a tremendous run by the big fella, Alex Walmsley.
Well, it looked like Alex Walmsley 2015, didn't it? That's what he did so often last season. Charges like that through the defence of the opponents set up so many of St Helens' attacking players and tries on the back of it.
What a kick-off that is. What a kick-off from Pat Richards that was, and Wilkin got hold of it and just gave it straight away to Walmsley. Saw the heavy infantry coming towards him, I think.
Yeah, that's what you're paid for, Alex. You take it up there, and I don't quite fancy that one.
20 seconds to the half-time siren. Surely St Helens cannot nudge themselves ahead. Kieran Cunningham will be hoping they can. Roby. Down this right-hand side they come again. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. One more play. This is probably it. And St Helens know it. Spreading the ball wide to Wilkin. And wide to Turner. There's the siren. Turner goes down. That will be the first half. And a contrasting, but I think he might be just a little bit disappointed, Lauren Fraser, because his team certainly dominated, and that man did. Certainly Jody Broughton with his hat-trick inside the first 33 minutes. They're happy enough, though, the French supporters who've made their way here tonight to St Helens. Theo Farge and Luke Walsh with the 2 tries in response. But Saints have shown their battling qualities, the battling qualities they displayed at Warrington last week, of course. Half-time then. Drag venue, Magic Weekend Day 1, May the 21st, the Saturday, 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. Magic Weekend Day 2, 12:30 on Sky Sports 1. Something to look forward to, and so is this, the second half of Saints and the Catalan Dragons, with the Dragons just ahead as we restart this second half, courtesy of Jack Owens. Underneath it was Todd Carney, and here is Louis Anderson once again. Interesting 40 minutes on the way, I think. Can the Catalan Dragons kick on, win again away from home? Has Kieran Cunningham said the right things to his players? Will they come and take home the bacon?
Eddie, all the traffic in the first half from Catalan was going right up the centre of the field. You only have to look at the stats. The both wingers not made a tackle. Shannon McDonald not made a tackle yet. James Roby 25, John Wilkin 23. They're just trying to bully Saints, just trying to dominate them and give the field position, give them that early ball that Todd Carney's looking for. But Saints so far have been standing up to everything. All the challenges, they're meeting them.
That's Marler with the kick right down the middle of the field, and it bounced horribly away from Shannon McDonald, so he has to pick it up behind his own posts, and it allows the Dragons to race forward, and Krishna Inu gets to the St Helens fullback and brings him down. Right, let's see what was said at half-time. Here's Angela Powers.
Kieran Cunningham was a bit disappointed with the opening of this game, but Saints, if you remember, were exactly the same position against Warrington last week, 14-12 at the break, so not too much cause for concern. But what they really want now is for these Saints players to play with intent and to make the Catalan players work harder down the middles. Catalan Dragons, well, they're feeling confident. They want to up the intensity as well in this half. He's happy with their defence, but he wants to make sure that they can continue to keep the pressure on St Helens in this half. They're feeling confident, and they feel that they can take this game as long as they continue to be good in defence and attack.
So both sides relatively confident then as we begin this second half. That's another good chase from the kick by St Helens. Gigo with nowhere to go. And Todd Carney gets the ball away. Here's the hat-trick hero, Jody Broughton.
Well, going looking for work. There's the challenge now again for Saints. The first couple of players, and Alex Walmsley's put himself about, and John Wilkin, but really impressed with Morgan Knowles, the number 28 for Saints. Plays the game. He's a young player, but he's so strong and powerful. Looks to get involved as well. There he is, the youngster.
Catalan in possession with Todd Carney. John Wells' guest after the match at the touchscreen here on Sky Sports as Bosk, the dummy half, gets the pass away. Kick down the middle of the field, again, all on the deck.
That was a very strong aspect of Catalan's success last week, Ulkia. Their attacking kicks, both to gain ground and to put their opponents under pressure and challenge for tries, was very strong, and it probably much improved really on the matches that I've seen them play this season. And again, they're managing to keep the ball in the play, making it hard for the opponents to get from where they want to be to where they need to be to score.
Well, the Dragons never ever been to Old Trafford before, of course, but they have been to Wembley. They faced St Helens in the cup final at Wembley in only their second season in existence. Okay, they lost by 30 points to 8, but it was a landmark achievement for them in that particular year. And I have three experts alongside me. Who was the first man in that cup final to score the first
Would it have been
try
James Roby?
at Wembley? Phil Clark, 10 out of 10.
And what about for a bonus point? The first French try, Younis Katabi, where's he now?
I noticed there was some silence from O'Connor and McDermott then.
Actually, someone turned my microphone off, Eddie. I was just trying to turn it back on.
We were at that game, tremendous occasion. It was the first Challenge Cup final back at the new Wembley, or at the new Wembley, should I say. But Catalan looked strong contenders on the first 11 games, or 10 and a half at least. Glenn Stewart, he's playing a huge part in what they're doing right and their attitude in defence.
Here goes Krishnan Inu. He's big in defence and he's pretty powerful in attack as well. There's a push there by Spedding. That could have been penalised, you know. This is Carney gets it away to Glenn Stewart, and Stewart with the kick. And just collected by Shannon McDonald, who had positioned himself for that kick. Didn't expect it, I don't think, from Glenn Stewart, though.
No, Eddie, well, They pressured Todd Carney, they trapped the man who they thought was going to kick the ball. He offloaded the ball, he stood in the collision and give it to Stewart, who just drops the ball onto his foot. I'm sure he didn't want to kick it, but it's the same result.
Another notice there, number 12, Justin Horrow. He's missed the last 3. He's on the field, second half. 2 other subs there in attendance for the Catalan Dragons as well. Remy Casti and Gregory Muniz. Thomas Bosk, of course, is out there, so good use of the subs by Laurent Freyssinou.
And I guess St Helens' use of Alex Walmsley is fascinating in the second half. It's unlikely he's going to play for all 40 minutes. When he's on the field, they need an impact from him.
Making an impact here from Jordan Turner. Well, they get the kick downfield from him anyway. This will be too strong, I fancy. Gigo just lets it go over the dead ball line. There's the big man, Alex Walmsley. He was 26 last Sunday, hoping for a Four Nations call at the end of this season. Alex Walmsley, member of the Dream Team last year.
Yeah, it was mightily impressive last year, and sometimes you coach at half-time when you play in the front row and you know that you're going to be subbed, and your job is to go on there and give that impact. You've got to give that 10 minutes. So I'm sure Kieran Cunningham said, go out there, blast yourself for as long as you can. If it's 5, 6, 7 minutes, give it your best shot.
Gregory Muniz, one of 3 survivors from that 2007 Challenge Cup final as well, by the way, with St Helens. Here is Stewart. Oh, he's spun away from a couple. Breaks on here. Supporters arrive. Richie Myler over under the sticks for the Catalan Dragons. A try last week when he ran the show against Hulkingston Rovers and a 40-20 kick. The man from Warrington had a great game against St Helens in last year's Magic for the Warrington Wolves, and has come up with the first try of this second half for the men from the south of France.
Tremendous play from the Dragons. Watch how many players are in motion. Todd Carney, he has a small involvement, but he releases that man Glenn Stewart, who provides an accurate pass to Richie Myler.
Just keep your eye here on Alex Walmsley. He attempts to make the tackle. He's given everything when he's carried the ball, but he couldn't help Jordan Turner there to stop Glenn Stewart, and they've turned a half chance into 6 points. Well, keeps himself alive. Brilliant footwork from Stewart. Pushes away Walmsley, draws a fullback. Some of the Saints players thought the pass went forward, but the referee disagreed, and the first 4 points of the second half goes to Richard Myler.
And you talked to Laurent Freyssinou about Richie Myler, and he thinks the world of him this year, as he does all of his major signings. And here's another, Pat Richards, bang in front of the sticks. This should be 20 points to 12, and that's exactly what it is. So the Catalan Dragons stretch the lead in the opening 7 minutes of this second half.
Eddie, well, that's the danger of leaving a big fella on. He come up with 2 carries, Alex Walmsley. It was a laboured chase as well. He's trying to get there. He knows that Stewart's coming back against the grain. Richie Myler, he's made a name for himself in Super League from backing up, just pushing up the middle, and he'll be disappointed, Alex Walmsley, but he's going to get another chance in this game to make amends for that. Carrying the ball forward, he's been absolutely tremendous. When he has a little look at that tackle again, he'll be disappointed with himself.
And Kieran Cunningham immediately withdrawing him from the field at the start of this second half, so there's been a change by the St Helens coach.
And as a player, Eddie, that absolutely kills you, knowing that you've made a mistake and then you've got to go and sit on the subs bench and dwell on that mistake.
So Vincent Duport trying to get down that left-hand side, halted by MacArthur Scarsbrook. Richard at dummy half. Ball now in centre field. Here is David Taylor. Been so impressive this year, David Taylor, both home and away for the Dragons. Ever present as well for them. Lovely break on here. That's Horrow, gets the ball wide to Pat Richards, and Richards is going for the corner, and Richards will score in the corner. 2 quick tries from the Catalan Dragons. Very much akin to what happened at the start of the game, and Laurent Freyssinou, well, he looks as cool as a cucumber. But I can tell you what, his heart will be beating, because he knows that history is beckoning here. A 6th successive Super League win is on the cards for the first time in this club's history.
Well, it's not a good start for Kieran Cunningham's men in this second half, but look at their power, look at the strength from Dave Taylor. A couple of players left on the floor again, couldn't dominate him at the collision. The markers couldn't get set, Louis McCarthy and Lamatasi. A good ball from Horrow to the points machine. there's the space. Haven't we seen Pat Richards over the years, the 2010 Man of Steel? He knows exactly how to play. But again, it's coming off the power from the forwards, these tries, Barry.
And it's the reward of the fast ruck that allows Thomas Bush to come out, try and slot one of his players through the hole, and Pat Richards has a relatively easy job. Thomas Bush, he draws Luke Walsh. Horrell still has a little bit to do, but Justin Horrell provides the pass, and Pat Richards, he puts it down in the corner. Another try to the Dragons.
The 34-year-old really did then leave some of the younger players in his wake.
He's now got a massive kick as well, Eddie, haven't we? We've got just over 30 minutes remaining in this match, but if they can expend a 12-point lead to a 14-point lead, I think this may make it just, well, I'd be amazed if St Helens, even with their record, can fight back from here, because the Dragons' defence in recent weeks has been so strong. To score more than 14 points will make this a massive, massive hill to climb.
It is, and when you think about what has happened on this ground, or at least on home soil with St Helens over the past 10 years against the Catalan Dragons, they've won 7 of the 11 matches that they've played them in at home in Super League. And this is, as Phil Clark says, a big kick. But he's just pushed it the wrong side of the post on this occasion. Got the length, there was never a question about that, but just didn't quite get the direction. So it's 2 converted tries, the gap, 24-12, the Dragons.
Eddie, you were talking about that Pat Richards leaving some of the younger players in the way. I think that they got caught out because some of the players were shooting in because they were beaten, because it was off a quick play, the ball. Jack Owens, the winger, had gone in to try and close the play down, which opened up the space on the edge for Pat Richards. And as soon as he knows that he's made that mistake, he just can't get there to prevent the try.
So the Dragons very much in the driving seat, and a great run forward by Remy Casti. Back in the 17, having missed the last 2. Tony Gigot now put into a wall of defenders. Leeds and Hull tomorrow. Leeds Rhinos, Hull FC. Hull flying high. Leeds wrong end of the table for them. Uncharted territory for them as well. And then on Saturday, the Challenge Cup, the road to Wembley begins here on Sky Sports 3, and it's Batley against Featherstone 5-5.
Off to Mount Pleasant on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that one. Should be a cracker, that one, Eddie.
I'm sure John Key will have the welcome mat out for you. Won't have any money behind the bar, but he'll have the welcome mat, that's for sure. Deep kick now from Todd Carney.
Faultless, absolutely faultless, isn't it? They score the points. If they don't, they kick deep, don't they? And they trap their opponents inside their own 20 again. Last week they were good, but maybe it was against the Hull KR side, missing some of their best players. St Helens are still missing 1 or 2, but it's a strong St Helens outfit, and yet they're being well outplayed here by their French opponents.
Eddie, I think where they've been good, the exit set to Catalan. Maybe that's the influence from the NRL stars. Don't make a mistake. Let's concentrate when we score some tries. Let's not make sure that we gift the ball to the opposition.
Yes, you get the impression this year there is a different attitude about the Dragons. There's a different culture in existence at Perpignan.
Eddie, I'd say more composed.
They've made some fantastic signings.
Brilliant players all over the park. There's some absolutely fabulous players, but they're a more composed side in 2016.
Wilkin goes short to Turner. He dabs it in behind Broughton. Broughton gets to it, but it's a good chase. Broughton slips, and Theo Farge does his best to try and push him over the try line with the help from Spedding. But Broughton managed to grind it the right side of the line as far as the Dragons are concerned. This is good though from St Helens. Everyone, they're all in there, and they've got him over the line in the end.
It was a poor run back from Tony Gigot. Yeah, he never really. I don't think he wanted the pass.
No, it was tremendous work from Saints, but look at the body angle. Gigot, he's trying to step.
He's trying to go down.
It goes down at the last minute, but by that time the Saints defenders, they've already caught him, and they're trying to push him over the try line. I did that as a reward to the defence.
Yeah. It's difficult to find a weak defender when you're in that position. It's difficult to find a spot defender who's going to tackle you low. When you know your teammate next to you, you can get off the line, you can put pressure on him. But I agree, that was a poor effort from Tony Gigot.
Well, he could probably see what was coming at him.
And it's a lonely place, Eddie. It's a lonely place when you're trapped near your own line, but you've got to put your hand up, you've got to take that carry. You can't just go into a voluntary tackle, turn your back, otherwise this will happen.
St Helens then trying to respond, having conceded the first 2 tries of this second half. And Roby gives it to Amor. Amor flings a wild pass, comes off though. Here's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Duport held on to him. There's a big collision then with Dave Taylor. And the touch judge is on. I don't know whether it was anything other than a collision. Maybe the picture might tell us. The touch judge saw something.
I think it's just he comes over the top. There's nothing in that tackle. Louis McCarthy's caused problems coming back against the grain. He's a real athlete.
But
Louis
look
McCarthy.
at his knee there, Tez. I think the reason that
that's
Louis
the reason
McCarthy...
the touch judge
doesn't come on for that though, does he?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reason Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook stays down is he's limping in back play.
But it wasn't a high tackle though, was it?
I never said it was.
But I think, Stuart, the touch judge is saying it is.
Well, the touch judge reported a high tackle. Dave Taylor hit him square on the shoulder. So it's going to be unlucky. The penalty goes against Catalan.
And I agree with you, buddy. The reason why he stays down because his knee buckles underneath him. It's not from the shot. It's because his right knee buckles underneath him.
Good. I'm glad you agree.
Well, a penalty to St Helens that really the tackle from David Taylor didn't deserve to be penalised. However, St Helens won't be complaining about that. Roby 10 metres out, gives it to Walsh. Walsh then to Amor. He offloads it to Farge. He now Wilkin. But the defensive strength of Bosk and Stewart bring him down. They didn't make any progress forward. It was all lateral. Here is Gigot. Now it's Turner. They've gone backwards a bit this time. Lost a metre or two. Glenn Stewart again with the challenge. Roby. Roby off the ground to Wilkin. Wilkin untidily on a couple of bounces to Walsh. He then finds Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He gets it in a standing start. No way for him to get through either. Roby again is waiting at dummy half. Walsh. St Helens crowd begging for a penalty for offside. This is Shannon McDonald. Down he goes, and it's Stewart once again. He's been all over the place defensively. Carney looking to get away with that. Here now is Farge. He finds Walsh. Walsh into open space. And who claimed it? The Catalan Dragons did in the shape of Vincent Duport. He jumped from the field of play, goal line dropout.
Well, that's a great result for the Saints, but tremendous effort again from Catalan Dragons. There's no way through for Saints, and they go from right to left, back up to the middle. There's your favourite, Matty Knowles, Morgan Knowles, should I say. There's no completing that tackle.
Sorry, Barry, there's no one trying to solve the problem on their own, Eddie. When the ball shifted away from the play of the ball, that's when normally you get a gap appearing. But they're working as a unit, they're working very hard, and that's where they've been very impressive in this game. And to be fair, all year.
Richard's drop goal finds Walsh just inside the Catalan Dragons half of the field. Great chase led by Bosk. Amor gets to his feet and will play it here to Roby. Roby then finds Richards. And Roby once again to Walsh. Here is Theo Farge, always looking busy. I think there is something developing between the standoff and scrum half for St Helens at the moment. There's Walsh, little drop of the shoulder, couldn't get away from Thomas Bosco. Will play the ball here to Roby. He'll go on his own, give it to Jordan Turner. And Jordan Turner is forced back. Wow. What defence that is.
Nearly 10 metres pushed back then, Jordan Turner.
Last tackle we're at. Wilkin, Farge. Oh, and Taylor has got him. Taylor has got him. That's a win for the Catalan Dragons and a shake of the head and frustration for Kieran Cunningham.
Eddie, that's a poor way to finish a set of 6.
But again, what about the defence? There's 20 metres they've lost.
The ball shifted three players away from the play of the ball. It is brilliant defence, brilliant chase down and hurrying from that man, Dave Taylor. But it's a poor way to end the set of 6.
I don't disagree. To make metres when you're defending, I think you've got to credit the defence.
Well, maybe there is no such thing as attack and defence. You've either got the ball or you don't have it. And they attacked, didn't they? They took land off their opponents, even when their opponents had their hands on possession.
Well, they began this set of 6 in a decent position because of that defence. Duport cannot make any further progress, though, just inside his own half. Bosk at dummy half. Myler gets the short ball away once again. And Julien Busquet gets them over halfway.
Eddie, he's another player that's really matured, Julien Busquet, over the years.
Oh, that's a great hit. Great hit that was by Matty Dawson on Richie Myler.
Well, that could be in the big hits, Eddie, and is that legal enough for you?
That is a fair and legal challenge. Get it in. This is Theo Farge.
We'll have to have a think about that one. What about this?
Oh, brilliant.
All in all on Richie Myler. Gets his side the ball back. Well, what can they do with it?
Walsh plowing a lone furrow, really. Gets the ball away in the end to Morgan Knowles. Roby. Up the middle it goes with Amor. Solid defence from the Catalan Dragons again. Roby down the right channel this time with Walsh. McCarthy Scarsbrook, another good challenge. Myler, first man in. Bousquet helping out. Walsh. Farge. Here is McDonnell. Jordan Turner. Turner, short ball that went behind Theo Farge. Down they go, and this time they have lost the ball.
Well, that's the second set of 6, Eddie, that they failed to get to the kick, and they're just asking now the referee Robert Hicks to have a little look at this. Is there a ball played at?
Is he allowed to do this, Stuart? Ask the video referee for help on a thing like this?
Well, it's a bit loose.
The carry's loose.
Well, the carry might be loose. But I mean, we've played on and then gone back to look at something else. I mean, it does look like he's touched in flight there. So we'll probably see this go back and be given...
It's come off Horrow, that.
Yeah, it's come off Horrow, so Saints are going to escape and get a scrum back where that knock-on took place.
Well, you can see Jordan Turner's reaction straight away, couldn't you, Eddie?
The referee called play on, and it was about 4 passes later. They've asked him to go back, and he's given it to the video referee. Is that in the realms of the video referee, Stuart, seriously?
Well, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
It's in the wrong place anywhere. They're packing the scrum anywhere. That's a farce.
I think he's learned that is in the wrong place, so he's bringing it back.
It's irrelevant anyway, that. What is relevant now is that St Helens have an opportunity to work their way back into this match. They're close to opponent's line. They've got close and crashed over so many times this season. It's been one of the best ways of them scoring points, and they've given an opportunity again to do it now.
But can they find a way through this resolute... Oh, that's hard. That was hard from Taylor.
Well, he keeps picking Taylor out, doesn't he, Louis McCarthy?
He's not giving that one. The touch he's on.
There you go, Eddie. So it's not the touch from the other side. It's Tony from this side. He's come onto the pitch.
Good old Tony Martin, he's got it.
Well, he's got this right.
I think having long hair can be an advantage in rugby, because when the head moves and all the hurl flows...
I wouldn't have a clue for it.
Don't ask no Connor.
I didn't look that way. Simon Horton always used to get a lot of penalties when we had that long swing in there, because look what happens. You change direction, you hit.
So Amor will drive it in after that penalty. Frustration growing in the Catalan ranks. Bit of frustration on the terraces as well. Can St Helens silence them a little bit here with a try? Bousquet all over the top of Richards. He plays the ball. It's Luke Walsh. They go wide here. And it's Shannon McDonnell. Taylor's after him, and Taylor gets him and drops him to the floor.
Just manhandles the fullback, doesn't he?
Picks him up like a rag doll. And Richards will drive it in again. Solid Dragons defence. Big test of them. Roby to Farge. He applies the brakes. Glenn Stewart applies the pressure. Down he goes on tackle number 5. This will be a big tick in the box for the Dragons if they survive this, and survive it they will. No, they won't. There's going to be another set coming at them. Ball is lost backwards by Spedding. He'll bring it back for the original offence, the knock on.
Eddie, has a quality set of 6 in defence from Catalan, and defence like this could get them to the grand final. They don't come up with the play, they make the mistake. John Wilkin going at the line, he knows that there could be an opportunity behind the defensive line. That was the only way that they were going to break Catalan down. With the little kick, drop it onto the boot. Let's ask Todd Carney leading his side around. He's with John Wells later on.
If he's got any puff left.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be okay. And Lauren Furation, you know that his side are under pressure, Eddie.
Yes, they are, but so far they've stood firm.
They've been tremendous. They've been absolutely tremendous. Defensively, quality.
Walsh in centre field. Gives the ball then to Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook again. Big hit this time from Batieri. Plays the ball to Roby. Amor drives it in at the chest of Bousquet. Down he goes. Inching ever closer the Saints. 9 metres away. Walsh, does he have the key? Farge gets it away to the skipper Wilkin. Wilkin smuggles the ball back to McDonnell. Theo Farge! He's dropped it. I think Theo Farge has dropped it. He has.
What a tackle. What an effort there to prevent. Is it Jason Batieri?
Yeah, it is, Phil.
To prevent Theo Farge. He's gone like a missile at him low to the ground. The ball's just spewed out, I think, in front. That is fantastic. He's thrown everything into it. Stopped him getting over the line and certainly forced the ball free.
Eddie, and that's what I say, when the ball's gone away from you, you don't switch off. You've got to make sure you cover the gaps. And Bettieri, look at him. He comes from near the sticks, he sprints, he knows that there's an opportunity. Theo Fire's going for the little crash ball that he scored in the first half with. And to prevent that, as I say, that gets you to finals. Defence like that.
Yes, it does. Phil rightly saying, like a missile, Jason Bettieri.
I think there's one or two probably deserved a bit of credit. Does Dave Taylor make an effort to come over, and Julien Busquet as well involved?
Lots of hands in there. The Saints fans think they saw something at the scrum that might have given their team possession again. Here is Richards now. It's St Helens' turn to turn up the muscle.
Yeah, we're going into the final 20 minutes. All the energy over the last 10 minutes has been with Saints because they're the team that's had the ball. They need to turn it into points now. Time's running out for them, and Catalan, well, defending like that, they're going to be very difficult to break down. Good shot from Kyler Moore yet again.
And Bettieri rode the challenge well and got out of trouble. Last tackle here. Myler with the kick. Up and over the top. Good kick. Another good kick from Myler. It's picked up by Jack Owens.
Eddie, look at that chase.
Look at the chase from the black shirts of the Catalan Dragons. Only made about 5-6 metres forward. McDonald to his feet, plays it to Walsh. Great defence, tremendous. No way through for Spedding. Gets to his feet, plays it to Theo Farge. Ashworth goes down. Flying tackle, and again from Bettieri. Roby will make some progress. Here is Wilkin. Now it's with Walsh. Now Amor. I think the defence will really be pleasing Lauren Freycinet. So it should. Theo Farge again.
Well, they've never had problems with scoring points, have they? There's always been the defence maybe in the bigger games against some of the bigger teams.
There's a knock-on.
Mistake here from Theo Farge.
And it is the defence, but it's that mindset and the ability to grind the game out. It doesn't matter whether they've got the ball or they haven't, to use Phil's analogy. They're still applying pressure. They're still making it difficult. They're still putting the Saints players under stress. And that's where Lauren Freycinet will say, we absolutely nailed it tonight. And Kieran Cunningham, when he reviews this game and he sits down with his players, he might be able to use some of the things that Catalan have done and maybe use that.
Well, if they win,
Saints side.
If Lauren Freycinet's side win here tonight, they will join Warrington at the top of the table. Joint top, only points difference will keep them second. And this is an area that Catalans have never been in before, top of the table in the Super League. And they follow it up with a visit from Salford to Perpignan next Saturday. You'll see it live on Sky Sports 2.
But Eddie, if you look down the Catalan side, you think that is a side that should be challenging for the top of the table, don't you?
Absolutely you do. In fact, you think that most seasons when you see their play.
You do, but this is the best team.
This year is the best they've been.
This is the best team, yeah, I agree with you.
And this fella is head and shoulders above a lot of them, Taylor, and he's still not tackled. Now he is.
They go for a drop goal at the end of this set. It's an option for them, isn't it?
Stewart infield to Myler, going wide with Carney. Bouncing, bobbling ball to Pat Richards. Richards up and over the top to Gigot. Bringing it back into centre field. St Helens' defence is firm. Oh, here is Krishna Ninu. He's got Broughton. 4 tries for Broughton. How about this from Jody Broughton? And how about this from the Catalan Dragons?
Don't bother with the drop goal, Eddie.
No, they won't go for the drop goal now, Phil. Jody Broughton, 4 tries. Never scored 4 in a match. Or has he before? We'll check that out for you.
Jody Broughton's had a tremendous evening, and I'm sure he's done the running for the man of the match. The only thing putting us off giving him the man of the match would be the possibility of him singing that song again, but here we go. Catalan Dragons, the players in the black shirts getting back on side, offering themselves. Tony Gigot, he commits defenders. There you see Jack Ashworth, he can't resist, he bites in, and there's the overlap and the space for that player, Jody Broughton, to get his 4th try of the evening.
And let me just put the record straight. Jody Broughton has scored 4 tries before. He actually scored 4 tries against the Catalan Dragons for Salford in 2011. Here tonight, 4 tries for the Dragons against the Saints in 2016. And they could easily be on their way to joint top of the table now.
Good work, Eddie. Great memory.
Thanks to Ian Proctor as always. The man with all the records, all the facts, all the figures. Faultless. Absolutely faultless. Just like that try from the Dragons. Here is Richards. Can he add the extras? No, the kick just swings away from the uprights. 28-12, it could be a winning lead.
Well, I've never had to choose my top 5 tries when one player scored 5 in a match himself. He's got a chance of doing it here today. That was his first, a great finish. Here was a brilliant team play. The timing and the accuracy of the passes made it look easy at the end. And look at that, it's a great catch on the back of a Todd Carney pass. The fourth one, well, they've taken it to one side of the field, stretched their opponents, created the space to score back in the right corner. A brilliant display from a player who's on the peak of his form at present.
Let me tell you a little bit about Jody Broughton. In my time at Leeds Rhinos, when I took over looking after the system, everything below the first team, Jody Broughton was a young man making his way, learning to be a quantity surveyor. He got his qualification whilst combining a full-time job with the first team at the Leeds Rhinos. He's trying to make his way. And when he leaves this game, he'll have plenty to go back to, but it's not stopped him achieving his ambition and playing rugby league at the highest level, and good on him.
Well said, Barry. I'm glad you got that out.
He went through a set of 6 then to get that out.
Here is Glenn Stewart. Glenn Stewart, we've only got a couple of minutes left now. It's Inu with the kick to the corner, and Inu finds touch on this near side. One thing I can tell you, I remember once upon a time, Sean Briscoe scored 4 tries in a match for Hull at Bradford, never got the man of the match.
I remember that.
It went to Richard Swain. I don't know which of you three is picking the man of the match, and I wouldn't like to influence your choice at all, but there's a 4-try man out there tonight called Broughton. He might get it, might he?
He could do. Dave Taylor's played well as well, Eddie. You've got to throw Dave Taylor in there. Glenn Stewart.
What about Da Costa? He's the hooker starting the match, as Richard Swain was.
Let's get him. Yeah. That Dave Hadfield's our great friend. Was that his decision? I think he's had a superb game, Jody Broughton. Working away from his own line, done a lot of the hard graft.
Look intelligently now, he's drifted back into that full-back role, he's covering in that part now. He really is playing well and enjoying. I think some players just need a change of scenery midway through the career. For some it works, it sparks them up, and they probably get the best from them and lift on. John Wilkins tried to offload, the ref said that's fair enough. Play on.
Yes, still okay, he said, as far as St Helens are concerned. Play on. Shannon MacDonald hangs on to the ball, plays the ball there to Roby. Farge, Ashworth. Need a bit of brilliance from the two youngsters again, Ashworth and Knowles. Oh, that's an untidy play, the ball. Roby managed to pick it up. Oh, another big hit. They just take no prisoners in defence, do they?
And they're just coming from everywhere, aren't they? When you think that there's a gap there, someone comes in, closes it down.
Farge with the chip over the top. Oh, that's palmed out by the Catalan Dragons defender.
Yeah, it's another set of 6 here.
Oh no, I think they're going to check this. They were unsure who it went off, so he's made his decision. He'll ask the video referee to check this right.
Gigo got the hand to that.
I think it comes off a Catalan player.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eddie. And Gigo goes up there, he's the highest man, it comes off his hand. Then does it come off Jordan Turner? Yes, it does. Jordan Turner was trying to tap the ball back into Spedding's path, wasn't he?
Just shows you see things second time, and it does come off the Saints' hand last.
Yeah.
Is that what we do? Take 2 looks at it?
2 looks. Is there anything to overrule what the referee's seen? Video referee doesn't think so, so we're now into that.
Well, good play from Robert Hicks as well, spotting that. That was his initial thoughts, wasn't it?
Here's another tremendous stat from Ian Proctor. Jody Broughton has equalled Catalan's tries in a match record of 4 now. Justin Murphy against Warrington in the playoffs 2008, and Damien Cardass against Widnes in 2012. Can he rewrite those history books here tonight with a 5th try and get the Broughton Phil Clark 5 on Monday? They're coming this way, they're coming this way.
Well, he's going to be a candidate as well for man of the match, Terry, when you pick one. Tony Guijo at the fullback.
It's Stewart who has been brilliant. Oh, you're under pressure now, Terry. Last tackle coming up here. Bosk and Carney into the open space. Chase being led by Horrow, but the ball picked up by Jack Owens. He then finds Roby. Roby gives it to Wilkin. Looping pass out wide. And here goes Matty Dawson down the right-hand side. Duport is there. Richards is there. And also there is Gregory Muniz.
Well, Eddie, Saints have got nothing to lose now. 12 minutes to go. They need to throw this ball around. They can't play through Catalan. They did that very well in the first half with that man Alex Walmsley when he went up the guts. But they seem to have built in confidence, Catalan, defensively. Here we go outside.
Good ball from Walsh to Spedding. Good feet from Spedding. He loses it then in the collision.
Well, you think you've done everything right. You think that you're beating your man on the outside. You get rid of, was it Chris Ninu? And Broughton, you step off your left foot, and then all of a sudden you see the big former Kiwi international coming towards you. You think, what do we do here? I need to change hands, put the ball into my left arm so I can fend Chris Ninu off. A couple of mistakes have cost Saints dearly in this game.
I think we all enjoy watching expansive tries and players with great skill, but the element of the game that I've enjoyed tonight has been the defence.
Yeah, I agree.
Right throughout the Catalan side, and that's, as you say, Tez, if they get through to the grand final, it'll be built on that solid foundation of defence.
I think what I've enjoyed more than anything is the Jody Broughton story.
You want me to say it again?
No, you're all right now. You can tell me privately later.
You can phone me up. You can phone me up later when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Either that or all the 40-20 kits.
He can estimate how long it'll take. You can get Jody Broughton to help you with that.
If we need to fill, Barry, we'll ask you to just repeat the story for us, if you don't mind.
All right.
One of the greats. 20 years of Super League. That's one of the great stories.
Thank you.
Wide to West and out to Broughton.
Penalty here to the Catalan Dragons. Hands in. They're going to go for 2 points. They really are rubbing the salt in the wounds here.
Well, they're just closing the game down now, aren't they? They know that it's mission accomplished. They've come from the south of France. They flew into Saints. Saints coming into this game off the back of that tremendous victory last week at Warrington. And the question was always going to be, I believe, Eddie, going into this game, was can Saints back that performance up? Because no one expected Saints to win last week when they played Warrington. But I said last week in commentary, you never write Saints off.
No, you don't. And you just wonder what that effort to beat Warrington last week has taken out of St Helens. But, Catalan Dragons, they played a week ago tonight. They've put 40 points on Hull Kingston Rovers, and they've had the 2 long-distance travels in the meantime. They're delighted. There's only a few of them here, but they're delighted.
They're taking advantage of the free away travel on the Thursday that Super League were offering.
Richards is bang in front. And he's got 2 more points. 30 points to 12. 9 minutes remaining. And I think that Bernard will be going home tonight with 2 points in the bag.
Well, he's learning, I think.
He's a great character, isn't he?
Yeah, he's invested both money and time, passion into the Catalan Dragons, being rewarded at the moment, but I guess it depends just when you meet your opponents in this competition. If you think back to round 2, Eddie, the Catalan Dragons were hammered at home by Hull, 38-10. So not every team plays at its best all through the season, riding through the highs and the lows of the challenge for every side. At the moment, the Dragons riding very high, and they're hoping that they can keep this roll on for a few more weeks, certainly. Great offload to Costa.
Well, can he get across the line on his big night here at St Helens? Maybe, but at the moment they're attacking down the left-hand side with Myler. What a ball that was.
You talked about soft hands before. That's a nice and easy pass. It's easy for the man who's coming onto the ball to take that. He's under no pressure.
Muniz to his feet. He'll play the ball here to Da Costa. He's out there. He's hunting a man of the match award. He remembers the Richard Swain. Myler, drop goal from Myler. He sliced it the wrong side of the post. That really would have been taking the mickey, and he knows it too.
Yeah, well, Phil called for it, didn't he, earlier on, before they scored that try. And I said, Eddie, with just 8 minutes to go, they know that they've got this game in the bag, but Saints won't give it up. Personal pride from players won't just let you turn it in, even when the game's gone away from you, and you know that realistically, you're not going to go on to win this game.
You wonder, even though you said that they beat Warrington last week, whether confidence will become an issue here for St Helens. The third home defeat in a row. Is that the first time in just over 10 years that that's happened? And they've really struggled, haven't they, too, as the game wore on against Hull last home game. They struggled in the second half, didn't score a single point. Now it's very hard, isn't it, here? They're clearly behind and they're trying to come up with magic plays.
And Jordan Turner, he's got Spedding outside him. Tristan Inu, though, just came and clattered him from behind. Ashworth from dummy half. Well, he's on his Todd. He gives it, though, to Farge. Here now is Walsh. Walsh looking to produce some magic again. Gets the ball away, and Spedding has dropped it. He's dropped it, Spedding. Was he tackled without the ball by Inu? That's what Saints are claiming.
I don't think Robert Hicks thinks so.
It was a forward pass, wasn't it?
That's what he's ruled. Forward pass on the one going out. On that one,
yeah. And Jack Ashworth tries to find his winger. And Chris Naninu, he tackles the player before he receives the ball, or bang on it. And it hasn't been a shortage of effort by Saints. I think they've just been given a really good lesson in defensive attitude, defensive systems. First class from the Dragons.
Yeah, first class from them. And, you know, we all know that sport is cyclical, but you look at that first utility Super League table, you have to ask the question, you know, as we approach the halfway stage of the opening 23 weekly rounds, will 3 of last year's top 4 miss out on this year's Super 8s? Leeds, Huddersfield struggling, St Helens in 6th. Leeds and Hull tomorrow is critical to the Rhinos' chances of defending their Super League title at the back end of this year.
Well, Eddie, if you're a fan of one of the other 9 clubs that you didn't mention, they'll be thinking, yeah, it could be our turn. It's been very unpredictable, hasn't it?
It's unthinkable.
In 2016. It is unthinkable, but you know what? That's what happens. We've got a salary cap. Everyone can build and build over the years. If you're involved in Super League and you've been there for 10 years, you should be able to bring through your local youngsters. You should be able to sign signings that's going to come in and create a decent culture for your youngsters to come through. So you want to see the movement. You don't want to see the same names at the top of the table.
No, nobody would have thought in 2016 that the Bradford Bulls would be playing championship football.
No, not after all those great times.
Demise, yeah.
The great times early on in Super League, Eddie, it was always at Bradford.
Savelio.
Well, the only thing the Saints supporters want to see now is a try, a score here from a long-range effort. They've got a chance here now on the left.
They have with Ashworth. Nice little dummy from Ashworth. He tried to get the ball away. It's touched though. 6 to go. 6 to go. Inu got a hand to it. Ashworth dropped on the loose ball. McDonald gives it to Walsh. Walsh in centre field to John Wilkin. Wilkin taking them on himself. Slips a lovely pass to Roby. Roby goes down on the second tackle. McDonald to Walsh. I think it'll only be consolation for Saints if they can get over, but here they come with Theo Farge. Oh, Marler's foot snaked out and it was picked up by Pat Richards, and frustration for the St Helens supporters.
You know, Eddie, even that play where you just stick your foot out goes to one of your teammates. I know some fullbacks who played the game said, don't stick your foot out, I'll make sure that I'm there to clean up that behind me. I don't want any ricochets, I don't want the ball bouncing into one of the opponents. But things are coming off for them. But there's that many defenders around the ball carrier all the time that it just seems to be falling for Catalan.
Catalan Dragons, joint top of the table in the middle of April 2016. Is this a sea-changing moment for the Dragons in the Super League and the story that has been building over the past 10 years? Kick downfield, picked up by McDonald. Stewart has been all over the field tonight. He really has.
Eddie, his energy's brilliant. You look at him every week, more or less.
Tackle.
He's the top tackler within the Catalan side. He works, and not only does he do the tackles, he brings the defenders up. So it's difficult for the players on the opposition to try and get around Catalan. He's always talking. He's always communicating.
It's a good shot. That's the centre. That's Vincent Duport on Alex Savelio. Farge wants to switch the direction of this attack, and he does to Wilkin, who in turn finds Walsh. Looking for a chink in the armour, it's not there. Here's Lamatazi. Savelio again. Now it's with Owens. Over the top from him to Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Down he goes in the tackle from Richie Myler. It's Walsh, booms it wide, finds Ashworth. Ashworth down and into Catalan territory, but this will run dead. Far too strong from young Ashworth.
Yeah, well, Jack Ashworth just making that mistake, kicking the ball far too deep. I'm sure he just would have liked to have just pulled it up 5 or 10 metres from the try line and just trapped them into the corner. Tried to force the mistake, just waiting for the ball to come back now, because Tony Gigo just kicked the ball away. Referee's just waiting to restart the game, but what a great night. And that man's been under pressure, Lauren Freshney, hasn't he, Eddie, over the years?
Well, they made a pretty indifferent start as well, but boy, they've got their act together now.
Yeah, well, it was always going to be difficult coming in on the back of Trent Robinson, who's the Roosters coach now. They had so much joy under him, really transformed them, but Lauren Freshney has built the side and put together a very, very competent set of players.
They have, and they've hit 30 points tonight. They've topped 40 points in 3 of their 4 other away wins this year. They lost to Wigan in round 1, of course. Each of their 4 away wins since has come against sides outside the top 8. St Helens is 6th. So this was the acid test, and they have come up with the goods, the men from Perpignan. Just over a minute or so remaining. Another attempted drop goal, this time from Todd Carney, goes wide of the uprights.
Another one that missed. Todd Carney going to join John Wells after the game and talk about, I'm sure he's going to talk about the unity within his side. And it's easy to pick individual performers who've had good evenings, but it's been the collective spirit. Again, the energy and enthusiasm that the players have played with, and they've all fed off one another. Tremendous display.
Tazi gets the ball wide to Wilkin. Wilkin then finds Jack Owens. Myler has been big in defence tonight too. So impressed with him. St Helens looking for something special to open this defence up, and it doesn't come, because that short ball from Walsh gave Shannon McDonald no chance, and it's a night of frustration for Kieran Cunningham. It's a night of frustration for his supporters. They're not used to this, and I suppose in many ways neither is Lauren Freshney and the Catalan Dragons. Richards trying to show them how a one-pointer should be taken. Whoa, now then, did he get that over? No, he didn't.
Think so, Ed.
Thank you. Robert Hicks rather gave me the answer, and the ball went dead. Richards with a smile on his face, and the Catalan Dragons will be smiling all the way home to Perpignan tonight, because they have scored a famous victory here, and they've kept St Helens pointless in the second half. Myler with the try, Richards with the try, Broughton with his 4. Richards has added a couple of goals. And after the delight of the victory at Warrington last week for St Helens, the despair of their 3rd home defeat in a row here at the hands